Welcome to another installment of This Is Not Normal on the Political Drain podcast with Drill Sergeant Doug, aka Admin Doug, a U.S. Army veteran, teacher, musician, and family man from Jamaica, now fights for justice and democracy through commentary and humor. Follow him on YouTube at Political Drain and at Sons of Liberty Official as Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug, continues to protect our freedoms.
So, this just happened.
I have to remind people who...
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1. 2.
What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. I was going to go live, but I've got so much other things to do, I didn't want to do it like that. I just wanted to come on here in case you didn't know. 427 people in the House of Representatives voted to release the Epstein Files, and 1 did not. Now, listen, that is what they call veto proof, but that doesn't mean that it's going to pass the Senate. I think it will. And maybe if the Senate also votes in the same unanimous way, almost unanimous way, it still isn't veto proof because the president can still veto it, and then it has to go back to the House and the Senate. And do not be surprised if something like that were to happen and people immediately just decided to change their vote. Because we're talking about feckless worms here who allowed someone like Pete Hegseth to become the Department of Defense Secretary. We're talking about people who allowed worm brain, I can't talk, RFK Jr. to become Secretary of Health and Human Services. Listen, here's the point. It passed. Does not mean it's veto proof. When you hear them say that, realize what they're saying is that if they voted that way again after the veto, then yeah, it would be veto proof. More importantly, do you know who didn't vote? Do you know the one person? Well, I thought maybe you'd like to know. His name is Clay Higgins, the most racist, backwards, slow-talking, dip-chewing, mouth knuckle-dragging, mouth open, cut-off short-wearing, racist hillbilly from Louisiana. Born on a bayou. And nothing against being born on the bayou, but when you're racist knuckle dragger like him, yeah. See, how do I know he's racist? I'm glad you asked, YouTube. This is the one person who decided to, this is the hill he decided to die on. That's the hill he died on. You know why? Because he's a sick, racist, backwards, knuckle dragging idiot. You know how I know? Clay Higgins, my friend. He started enlisted in the military police corps of the Louisiana National Guard, serving for 6 years and reaching the rank of staff sergeant. While working as a military officer, Higgins supported the 1992 presidential campaign of Pat Buchanan and the gubernatorial campaign of Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke. That's why he doesn't mind. That's why PDO files aren't that big of a deal to him. He's a racist knuckle dragger. He's a lawless human being. Well, not only is he racist, he's lawless, and you're wondering, well, what does that mean? How do I know that? Well, here you go. How about the fact that when he worked for the Opelousas City Police Department, the police chief prepared to take major disciplinary actions against Higgins, who was accused of beating a black man who was handcuffed and lying about it. He lied about it. That's why. You see, what happens is when you're the type to lie about beating a black man while he's handcuffed, when you're the type that does illegal, inhumane, lawless things, you don't find the PDO file thing something really worth crying about. These people are horrible, disgusting. In 2007, Clay Higgins was caught in his SWAT vehicle and gear making alcohol purchase at a gas station in violation of the department rules. These people, well, once you get away with crimes, these people are lawless. They think the laws don't apply to them. If you ever heard how this guy talks to other black Congress members, I'm not even going to put it up here because it's more important that you get the news. But you want to know who the one person is? Clay Higgins was a member of the Crime Stoppers program. And that was in 2014 in the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office. And he was supposed to be doing these videos to tell people, you won't get away with it, don't do drugs, stay in school, that type of stuff. His videos went viral, and in 2015, he was described by national media as the Cajun John Wayne for his intimidating persona. He's just all about that crime stopping. Sheriff Bobby Gidros urged restraint, advising Higgins to refrain from personal comments about suspects and to keep a professional tone in his videos. But his videos prompted protests from families of suspects and even suspects themselves and the ACLU because he would call them out, intimidate them, threaten them, and by name, causing public backlash on them. Unprofessional. Now, you're so gung-ho about these criminals, supposedly, that you're willing to give up everything. You're gonna have that tough talk. But when it comes to touching little ones inappropriately and abusing them and stealing their innocence and destroying their lives, that John Wayne persona turns into Minnie Mouse. Even Minnie Mouse is stronger. No, she was awesome. Turns into Elmer Fudd. Yeah, that's more like you, Clay Higgins. That's the one. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Remember, those who speak the loudest, those who come out and say they hate the criminals as long as they're black, and those who are also found, if I may just say, asking for cash payments, conducted as private business on emails for government emails, so that they didn't have knowledge in the IRS, attempted to conceal more earnings from the IRS in order to avoid wage garnishment from unpaid taxes. These type of people, these people like Trump, are chronic lawbreakers. And there's nothing that they won't do. Even be the lone solo vote for what I don't know, the hill to die on, to prove your loyalty to the next Ku Klux Klan leader in office. Good job, Clay. Good job.
Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads. It's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.
That was the Political Drain podcast, which can be heard on www.groovechillradio.com/political-drain and can be viewed on the Political Drain YouTube channel anytime. Once again, thank you for listening to Groove Chill as we resist fascism in any form, pursue democracy, peace, and love.